Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Financial Fitness Friday. Right, crazy and heavy week. Um, we're gonna try to do this. Right, me and Dave were talking prior to the show. We're gonna try to do this. We're gonna go over how to increase your revenue, and ultimately, it's part of a four-part series I'm doing on the integrated entrepreneur. So catch that. I put the link in here if you guys want to watch it in advance. I'm just going to go over a couple parts that we touched on, and that's just part one. It's a four-part series. All right. Because I see a lot of businesses struggling, I see a few striving and doing well. But the first thing I want to say is, my prayers have been going out to the Kirk family. That's horrible. It should never happen. And the some of the stuff that we're seeing, and I'm sure we'll cover this on Monday in depth, but some of the stuff that we're seeing from one side and also some from the right is not okay. There should be a something to unite and rally the masses into action, into speaking up, into honoring that man's legacy. Right, he was a preacher and a great person that brought a lot of people to Jesus Christ, and he had some skills and abilities that are just very rare in this day and age. So we'll cover that more Monday, I'm sure. It deserves to be covered way more than that. But with that being said, this is Financial Fitness Friday. We want to kind of help you guys grow your business, and this is going to focus on growing your revenues. All right. So the first thing I want to cover, right, is if you're an entrepreneur, right, part of increasing your profits is being able to increase your revenues, right? It's a pretty easy equation. Bring more money in, spend less doing it. Okay, that will increase your profits. All right, and so we're going to focus a couple things on how to do that. So I think the first thing would be, think about ways to expand product lines, service offerings. And when I say that, I want you to understand that everything that I'm saying is to keep your ideal client in mind. When you're trying to expand services, it should not be services that don't fit your ideal avatar, right? So if you are like a home service company, you want to provide services that homeowner is going to need. So like roofing, add gutters, okay? Landscaping, maybe add hardscaping as well, right? Maybe pool service, okay? Whatever gets you in the door is a very, very, very valuable tool, okay? And then once you're there, you can upsell and cross sell other programs, other services that you're offering, okay? Next, increase your prices.
Mhm.
We've talked about that a lot, especially when we were dealing with a lot of rampant inflation. Right. But one of the things I will tell you is if you just increase your prices without an explanation and just for the sake of increasing prices, you risk the potential of losing clients. Okay. So the way I always would try to increase my prices is have more value, add more value, make sure it's an exceptional experience. All right, we'll go back to the roofer example. If you're a roofer, make sure your job site's clean. Maybe provide a gift. Maybe do like a free gutter cleaning that the client didn't ask for. Okay, these are all things that will help and build goodwill and make it a lot easier because when you go above and beyond and create more value for your end client, people are willing to pay a little bit more for that, even if it's a tight type of a tight environment. I still believe today it is a very, very tight environment. All right, I know a lot of people that are hurting. I've seen it across many different sectors right now, and I'm telling you, and we're probably gonna do a show on this in a little bit. I haven't figured it all out on why certain companies are struggling right now, but I can tell you that we are seeing mass layoffs because bigger companies are adopting AI at a faster and faster rate, and I don't think that's going to slow down. Do I think that's causing everything? No. But I do think that there's some underlying fundamentals that aren't being reported. And we got to figure that out and address those and find ways to work around them. Okay. Next thing, you could enter new markets. All right. Now, when I say enter new markets, I'm talking about if you are a retail location, okay, maybe expanding your service area. Or if you're a service based business, expanding your service area. If you're a retail location, maybe you open another location in a pretty far enough away where you're getting new people, but not so far that it's straining your resources. So what I mean by that is, maybe you open up another retail location in a town or two over. I wouldn't open up another retail location in another state. Why? Because nobody knows the brand. So then it's essentially starting a new business from scratch, even though you might have the systems and processes down, which is great. You don't have the brand recognition, you don't have the marketing coverage, and you may not know the entire demographic. Okay. So to me, opening up very far away would be a much larger risk than opening up a town or two over. Does that make sense?
Yep, sure does.
Before I keep going, Dave, what do you got? What do you want about this?
Yeah, I mean, products are always a good thing. Don't I see a lot of people get outside of what they do with products, right? It's like, all right, well, here's a stupid example, but like, all right, hey, I'm a sneaker reseller, right? Well, all of a sudden, my market on here or going to Boots or something else. Now I want to sell TVs, right? I'm getting them, hand over fist on the dollar. Well, it's like, no, dude, like we're sneakerheads. We know there's profitability. Yeah. Where like TVs, like this shit's gonna be obsolete in 6 months. Like, what am I gonna do with that? Hey, come get them. We keep getting them off the truck all the time. Something like that.
Hey, free delivery.
Yeah, no shipping charge, right?
Hey, I'm not kidding, dude. When I was in New York, man, we would see that, especially going through the city or Chinatown.
Yeah.
Or the Bronx, you would see that all the time. And it was so obvious, dude. It was so obvious.
You go Center City, Philly, man. It's the same more deal. Like, especially if you're in Chinatown, you're outside the convention center or something. Hey, here you go, man. Hot box of Jordans right here for $30.
So I don't know if this was by the new Yankee Stadium or the old Yankee Stadium. Okay. But there's absolutely some chop shops that were dressed as body shops. And you knew those cars were hot. Okay.
That's the deal too. They have a load of like
they had paper fucking license plates. Paper license plates. And they weren't like, there was nothing official about it. You know what I mean? It basically should have been a sign, please don't pull me over.
Yeah, temp tags.
Please don't arrest me today. All right. And this is going back like 10 years. Okay. In this environment with the lawlessness, I'm sure it's way worse. They probably don't even take time to print the paper anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But I got a story about it. We'll save that for another time about those paper license plates. But increased prices, like guys, like you don't have to go crazy on this, right? Like everybody's like, oh, increased prices. Like I'm gonna detract from people, right?
You're giving a reason too. Like, hey, it's costing me more. Like these eggs, if you're a restaurant, eggs went up a substantial amount.
Sure. Or even take clients like ours. A lot of them are recurring clients, so new people coming in, even if you did something small, $25, that's not really going to go noticeable. I'll give you a perfect example. The gym scene here, right? Pre-COVID, most of the gyms here, with the exception of maybe LA Fitness, a lot of gyms here, you could get in $10-20 a month. And then after COVID, the gyms were crazy. A couple of them shut down. One of the main LA Fitnesses that's here isn't even here anymore. There were literally 3 gyms within a mile of each other, right? And you take that to today. I started going to this new gym that used to be a Retro. Shout out to my boy Ed. He's got 4 gyms in the area, Supersets crew. But he upped his, when I went in, it was $32 a month. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, I'm only paying like $10 or $15 a month to go to my old gym. And it's like everything was shut down and coming in. And I was like, all right, whatever. It's 2 minutes from my house instead of driving 20. I'm cool with it. And then I found out LA jumped up to like $45-50 a month. I'm like, oh wow, Planet Fitness isn't even $10 a month anymore, right?
Yeah, but you get free pizza when you're done working out.
Yeah, exactly. And
on Fridays,
get your fat ass bigger, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of other mom and pop gyms locally here that kind of shot up, and they're all $60 a month, $70 a month, and I'm like, man, 32 doesn't sound so bad anymore. Like those are big increases, but you're not going to hear people complaining about it. I had the shock and awe but it's like, all right, what am I getting in return as opposed to the $10? Right? I'm getting 24-hour access, right? I have a key card. I could go in whenever I want. And it's literally the time I go in the morning, it's 2 minutes away from my house instead of driving 15. And then think about that. Like my wife has to go to work in the morning, right? Like she's a teacher. It used to take me half hour round trip to now where it's literally 5 minutes total.
Yep.
You know, so there's a trade-off on that. So don't be afraid to increase prices. Everybody wants to race to the bottom for some reason. Oh, I got to decrease. Don't do that.
Yep. And then I'll tell you right now, if you have a lot of online sales, the easiest way to boost your sales is actually track and fix the metrics, right? So one, it's real simple. Drive more people to the site, okay, as cheap as you can. Two, what is the conversion rate there? So a lot of people don't do enough testing on their sites, right? And what I've seen, and this actually killed a referral partnership for me. I had somebody that had a great business credit product. It was a free line. It was cheaper than Uline. You can get set up. And this guy hunted me down to be a referral partner. And I said, all right, I really don't do this, but let's do it. I sent him a lot of people, and I still have not gotten paid on any of them. So one, I think there was an ethical issue there. Two, he's saying that none of these guys converted. Well, if none of them converted, then you gave a referral partner that you had to track me down for 2 weeks, okay, a site that wasn't going to convert. Do you think I'm going to send him any more business? No. Okay. And that's just stupidity. Okay. So make sure you're testing the sites, make sure your checkout's working properly, go through, do a test order. And then also you can always add upsells in there too. Okay. Next, boost customer retention, guys. I can't stress this enough. Your clients, your current clients are one of the biggest assets you have. Okay. So do surveys, ask them what they need, ask them what you could do better. Okay. You got to do that. Like if you are not doing that, you're going to struggle. Okay. Also make sure that they're having a great experience. Why? Because when you build a lot of value up front, when you have a great process that your clients love, you don't turn them into clients, you turn them into friends. And eventually those friends become raving fans. Okay. And those raving fans will bring you way more business over the long haul than any type of marketing you could ever spend money on. All right. It is literally the key to my success. It's the only, I do a lot of stuff wrong. That's actually one of the things I get right. If clients can work with us and they fit in our process and they respect boundaries, we go above and beyond. And by the way, we have an ascension model that they don't even know about. Okay. When they continue to work with us, they get different gifts. And for each time that they work with us, we have a higher and higher gift. I will tell you that at this point, we have clients that are coming with like their 5th to 10th time. Those guys are getting backpacks, and they're backpacks that we put their logo on and our logo on. And they are nice backpacks. Okay. And that's just something that nobody else is doing. But you know what we do start off with? We start off with, a mug like this, right? And this is custom engraved. So on this side, there's our logo, Integrated Business Financing. So we're always in front of them. The blue is in our color. Okay. We do this all in-house, guys. We don't send this out. Like, I can't tell you the reason I have so many of these all over my office, all right, is because we constantly mess up on them. It is not cheap to mess up on this. All right. But this is something that someone's actually going to use. It's not like a piece of shit gift. Okay. And we do take the time and write handwritten thank you notes, and we send those out. Okay. And we follow up and see what they need and how we can help them. All right. Next, leverage partnerships. I talked about just a couple seconds ago, people that do partnerships wrong. If you get to be a partner of ours, we treat you like gold. We treat your clients even better. Okay. And by the way, we make it so everybody wins in that. All right. And so that is a very, very important aspect of this, because the partnerships will drive business. They'll drive revenue. Okay. And you have to be able to help them as well. Right. It can't just be a transactional thing. And so we make sure that we give them educational content. We train their base. We train their employees. We send them deals and business. And then next, this is fairly obvious. Expand your sales team, right? I like adding people. All right. And if you can't add people, add efficiency to the people that you have to make them more effective. What does that look like? Well, AI. Like we just launched our AI. So if you go on our site right now, and any of you guys can test this, go to integratedbusinessfinancing.com. That is not, if you go on there, you will interact with our custom built AI. It's not out of the box. It took us 18 months to do. Is it perfect right now? No, but it's actually way better than anything I've seen. Okay. And that's something that has been a big pipeline project for us that we are 18 months into, and we're going to continue to roll out. I didn't fire any sales guys for that, guys. Okay. And in fact, we're looking ahead. But what that does is it gets the people right away. It helps them. It tells us where they're at because it gets enough information from them. And at any point, if somebody doesn't want to go through that, they can reach out to us, or that AI will schedule the next available appointment. And a lot of times it could be within 5 minutes or a half hour to one of my agents. All right. And so that is a productive use of AI. And it's not there to replace anybody. It's actually there to make everybody's life and job easier. Next, invest in your branding and marketing. So many of you guys don't understand this, but it's great to be able to market. But if you can't build a brand and a brand that stands on its own, you're not creating any long-term value for the company, right? It's just people are just looking at you as a P&L. All right. There's no brand value to that. All right. And that's something a lot of people don't understand. And then the last thing is introduce subscriptions. Okay. Like subscriptions are huge, and they don't have to be, it doesn't always have to be a monetary subscription. Let me explain. All right. When you have a monetary subscription, it's going to come in, that money comes in every month, but you have to make sure you're delivering value well above what that is costing the client. Okay. A lot of people fail at that. And so make sure if you are going to do that, you are doing something that is really going to be helpful and impactful for the client. But what can subscriptions be? They can be touch points. Okay. It could be a newsletter. It could be a podcast. It could be information that is going to help that client succeed. I have been doing this. We have been doing this for a very long time. Okay. It helps the brand. It helps draw people in. People understand it. They get to know us here. And then you decide if I'm somebody that you want to work with. Hopefully I am. But if I'm not, that's fine too, because you know what that did? It saved you the time of calling and me the time of answering that call, and only to find out that we're not compatible and we're not a fit, and that's okay. All right. And a lot of people don't get that. So guys, this is probably the longest one we've done. I fully anticipate Mondays will be longer because I think we are going to cover the unfortunate death and assassination of Charlie Kirk. And what I would ask on that show is that you guys absolutely stay on for the whole time and share it. And the reason why I'm telling you guys that is I already can tell you, because me and Dave have discussed it, we have a different spin, and it's one of those that may or may not get throttled. And I can tell you right now that my entire Facebook is being throttled. And all I've tried to post is positive messages about God and about this man's legacy. Okay. And I hope people understand that is still going on. They're still trying to censor things, and it's not right. And I think at some point it's going to get exponentially worse with Palantir.
And I also think, guys, engage on that while it's live. Like,
Yeah.
if you're on, like, get some engagement, ask some questions. The more people are involved, then it could get taken down. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll be honest, and I'll say this again Monday. Like, my first take on it was wrong. Okay, my first take was it was a long shot. It was a 200-yard shot. I thought it was a professional. Okay, and now things are coming out, but we'll cover all that Monday. Not covering it here. We went through a lot of good information here that will really help you increase your business, increase your sales. And so the only thing I could ever ask you guys is share this. If you see the link below, it is the first part of a 4-part series where I go deep into everything that we covered and then some. Okay. And so what I would ask is that you guys listen to that. It'll be very, very helpful, very educational. And each step of the way on this 4-part series, it's all about how you can increase your revenue, decrease your costs, ultimately increase your margins, and provide better service to your clients. And that should be everybody's goal, because this is a very, very challenging market right now. And I have a feeling that only the top companies that adapt these strategies are actually going to be able to win over the long haul. So I hope this helped you guys. Love you guys. God bless you. We'll see you Monday.
And be great, y'all.